Hi, I'm Birdime. I know it's a bit late, but today we are finally reviewing Moon Knight. I've just been so busy every time I went to make it, and I have a puppy now. He's literally sitting in my lap. He's really distracting. Listen, just take what you can get. And let's get into the full review of Moon Knight. Starting off, let's talk about some of the basic things that I talk about in most things. I really just didn't like the special effects, the CGI, like when the logs were falling off for the truck scene and stuff like that. 90% of the time, it just felt so bad, and it didn't feel bad for like Khonshu and stuff like that. But anything that's meant to look real, like a real world thing, I just didn't think they did too good. But I really enjoyed that the lighting and color scheme was completely different for the most part from most Marvel projects. And overall, I think it just looked good. The sets looked good. It was different. And it gave such a vibe of early 2000s, late 90s type of movies like The Mummy and stuff like that, which was really good. It gave a kind of a nostalgic feel. And also, I think they did really good with the comic book accurate stuff in this, and I think the action was really good. For the most part, there was some scenes where it was just okay, but overall, just from like the overall feel of the show was just good. I also enjoyed that there was less comedy, and the jokes that were made just kind of felt like they fit the character more. Now let's get into more of like the actual specifics of stuff that happened in the show. I really enjoyed how it started off, how it kind of built the puzzle pieces and stuff like that. It kind of gave you like, oh, what is happening type of vibes in the beginning, with the stuff with the sleep and the voices. I felt like the confusion of it might have also been a bit thrown in at a little bit in the early stages, but the fact that he doesn't know what's happening just kind of makes it so much better. We are supposed to feel what he feels. So he doesn't know, so why would we know? So overall, I think they did really good with the early stages with the confusion. And also in the early stage, I enjoyed the pacing. It got a bit meh near the end. Like the last episode felt a bit rushed. We'll get into that, I think, later. At first, I just couldn't get into the Khonshu, like how he spoke. The voice felt like it was Optimus Prime. It didn't really fit the show. And I didn't enjoy the kind of like the backstory of the gods. It just felt like the internals. So it kind of already felt like it's a bit been done. So some of the stuff with the gods just kind of felt meh points. And Khonshu just felt man, like he was bad and then he was good and then he was bad. Was he bad this entire time? Is his motives good or not? Because they kind of explain a bit that his motives might actually be good, but now it kind of just feels like, well, his motives just aren't the worst compared to the bad guy. But I don't know. I do enjoy Oscar Isaac. I enjoyed his acting. I enjoyed the different characters he played. I enjoyed the differences between Stephen Grant and Mark Spector. I enjoyed that he wasn't perfect at everything he did, especially Stephen. I also enjoyed that they kept his kind of mental illness in the show, which was nice. I'm glad they didn't kind of mute those aspects. But now going to more specifics with that, they definitely had some odd points. There would be like he would just come back into it and go out on his date and then realize it's been like 3 days, which was kind of odd because it showed him in the morning and the date was at night, and then like he never checked what day of the week it was. So there definitely was some bits and pieces where kind of they just needed to get the plot along, but they made it so blatant it was just kind of odd. And just going and talking about some other parts that I thought were odd. The whole court case that they built up was just like very short and made no sense. It was just like, it was complete bullshit that he lost the way he lost, and I don't know. And also some other parts I didn't like. The hippo, it was okay. It felt rushed, but they definitely had some dramatic scenes with her. So I do and do not like the hippo. Some other point that was odd was that they needed to do that whole spell thing, but they only needed 2 people. And they kind of just knew the spell. And then the other points I'll get into near the end, because I want to go back to more of the beginning stuff and overall stuff. I really enjoyed Arthur Hollow. he was good. He was compelling. His acting was good. I felt like he had to phone it in just a bit for the show, but I think he did good. I think he was one of the highlights of the entire show. Him and Stephen Grant / Mark Spector were the best parts of the show. Layla was okay. She was better at the beginning, but then kind of just, she was okay near the end of it, but I don't know. I also didn't enjoy that she was a superhero at the end. It kind of just felt like every character now has to be a superhero. Every show, every character has like 3 superheroes. And just like, I don't know. It kind of feeling like a bit too much at this point. I think I enjoyed a lot of the beginning. Then I was mixed on like episode 4. There was a good fake out in episode 4. Episode 5, there was some good flashbacks. But then they were kind of ruined with the doctor. And it kind of was like the doctor being at the beginning and end. I think they definitely should have just taken out the doctor at the end, or just kind of rewrote the scene. Because it kind of just felt like at the end it halted the momentum, where the doctor did better in the other parts of the episode. I wish they spent a few extra minutes in the boat, but I really enjoyed that stuff. I enjoyed the cafe scene. I thought that was just a good representation for the people he killed. I enjoyed all the flashbacks, the building of Steven's story. That was the good with the arguments. Then I don't think they should have killed him. I think he should have just went back at the end. It felt like then they had to spend the next episode rushing things, which is what I was kind of hinting at. Is that he then dies in this ward, and then he comes back, and then the last episode they had to spend getting him to come back, and then it just felt rushed near the end, and it feels like a lot of the Marvel shows rushed the last episode. But also going to the last episode, the Avatars just died so fast when Hollow went to fight them. I had mixed on Ahmed's voice and how they were introducing the character, and it's just, the character just didn't feel very evil. It didn't feel very intriguing. And apparently, just the whole going back to it, I just can't believe you can just leave heaven, come back to life. But it had some pretty good action. The fights in the end were okay. The mid-credit scenes were okay. I do think the show was one of the better Marvel shows, and I am giving it a 81%. I think they did good. I really hope it gets a season 2. My dog is getting restless. He just wants to sleep, even though he's been sleeping all day. I'm excited for review 1. I already started writing my review of that. Hopefully we'll get that out when it happens. Hi, dog. What's up, Blue? Is this gonna... Okay, he wants my attention. Have a good night.